Hey everyone, how are you doing? How's the new year treating you so far? Thank you for joining me again, and if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be a collective haul of the plants I acquired over the past couple of months, from my first video on November 25th until now. So get comfy because there's quite a number of them. Okay, so I'm actually going to divide this big haul into two categories. One for the end of 2020 haul, and the other will be my 2021 haul so far, which is kind of worrisome since we've only gotten through 1 month and it's already this long. But we'll see what happens the rest of the year, I guess. So these first few plants are from the end of 2020. Okay, so the first plant is my Thanksgiving cactus. If you had watched my Home Depot tour, you would have seen this in the end of the video with my haul. This was the only plant that I got from Home Depot that day. It did have flowers when I got it, and they have all since fallen off. The holiday cacti blooms usually only last about 7 to 8 weeks. And then in order for them to bloom again in the fall, or whichever season they're supposed to be blooming in, whether you got the Thanksgiving cactus or the Christmas cactus or the Easter cactus, you kind of have to trick them into blooming again by, I guess, making the daylight shorter and making the temperatures cooler. So this cactus actually has quite a lot of aerial roots that have grown in. Let me see if I can show them to you. So if you look, they're in between the segments. There's one right there, and then there's quite a few in there. Can you see them? All those white roots in between segments. So holiday cacti are not like the desert cactus that we have here in Arizona. They actually come from rainforests, and they are epiphytes, which means that they attach themselves to trees in the rainforest, and the aerial roots are how they gather moisture from their environment. So that's the first plant. The second plant is this Philodendron Moonlight. It was in my new plant co-unboxing video. In that video, I did show that I had chopped off all its roots because it had a really small root system, and I knew it wasn't going to survive in Leca with that root system, so I decided to just start over from the beginning. I did put it into water propagation after chopping off all the roots, and as you can see, it still has not grown any roots. I thought I noticed a small growth point on there the other day, but I can't find it anymore. I'm not too worried that it hasn't grown roots yet because it is still alive. The leaves haven't gone brown or anything like that. And I figured because it is still winter, it's probably just growing really slow. And hopefully when spring comes, it will just start sprouting roots. It does have this new leaf unfurling. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so it's still alive and I'm just waiting for it to root. So that's plant number 2. The third plant is this Philodendron Golden Goddess, also known as the Philodendron Lemon Lime. I did purchase this as an unrooted cutting, and I do have a video of me unboxing this. And I placed it in water propagation on November 21st of last year, and I was able to finally pot it up into Leca on January 11th. Because it had grown a lot of water roots, and it totally took to Leca, no fuss at all. And as you can see, let me get it closer, it has 2 new leaves unfurling right there, or about to unfurl, I guess, but it's doing really well. It does have some of the leaves on it do have like a tiny bit of variegation. Like, I'm not sure if the camera is gonna pick that up. Hold on. See, there's some variegation right there. And then on this one, there's some variegation there too. So yeah, that's the third plant. So the next two plants were featured in my birthday plants repot video. And they were the two plants that my parents gave me for my birthday. So first is the ZZ plant, just a regular one. And the other is the sad looking zebra plant. It didn't look like this in the beginning. And you'll see in the video, the repotting video, that I had repotted into leca. Well, I wasn't very happy about that. So I ended up taking it out of leca and chopping off all the roots that had turned brown and then placed it into water propagation. And it has grown. I did keep this big root there and it's been fine. It is growing some new, oops, I'm so sorry. It is growing some new water roots. So once those are big enough, I'm gonna try to repot it back into leca. But it actually hasn't been too happy with my humidity here, as you can see. Part of this leaf is all crispy, and this one, and then this one as well. It did lose some leaves, like this one, and one on the other side too. It lost those just from being super crispy. It is sitting next to a little, I have a diffuser that I'm using as a kind of like a humidifier right next to it. And it is on a pebble tray. So hopefully, it seems like the crisping has stopped. So hopefully it's doing better. And then the ZZ plant hasn't had any complaints at all. It just, it's just there in leca, no problems. Hasn't grown any new stalks or anything, but it's, like I said, it's not complaining. So I'm happy about that. Up next is this Sansevieria black coral. I got this from a quick stop at my Home Depot. I had gone there to see if they had any new plants, and I did see this. I do have a pretty big Sansevieria collection, but I didn't have one like this, so I did go ahead and pick it up. I'm not sure, it didn't have a label on it. It looks like a black coral, but sometimes I feel like it could also be a Zeylanica. But I know that the Zeylanica is a lot more green, and the stripes on it, or I guess the zigzag stripes on it, are a lot more condensed, I guess. So I think I'm gonna keep calling this a black coral, but this is actually a pretty tall, this one leaf right here is actually pretty tall. I couldn't get it all in one frame. Let's see if I can pan up. See how tall that leaf is. I do like how dark the green is, and that's why it's called the black coral, because some of them, especially this one right here, does look like it's black. So the last plant that I got in 2020 is this Mertillo Cactus geometricans. I got this from my Walmart. There are 4 of them in there. And they were actually in a pile of cacti on the bottom of a shelf. It looked like they were planning on throwing them out because there was just a whole literally mound of dirt and cacti on top of one another. They weren't even in their pots anymore. There was just soil everywhere. It looked like they were just gonna toss them out. And so I picked one up and found the right pot for it. Put some more extra soil in there, just for the trip home. And then I came home and transplanted it into leca. And it took really well to it. I was actually quite surprised. A lot of my cacti that I put into leca don't root as quickly, but you can see it's already grown a lot of roots in the short time that I've had it. And I'm not sure if you can catch the blue shade on it. Let me see. This has been on my wish list for a while, and I haven't actually been able to find one. So it was a really lucky find, I guess. But because they were just tossed in a pile willy-nilly, they do have some damaged marks on them, and they did lose some of that blue powdery stuff that they typically have on them that gives them that blue hue. But you can see, let me lower the light a bit so you can see that blue. Like right here, it's more of a blue shade. And then right here is where it was all rubbed off from, rubbing against the other cacti that were in the pile. And then this one has almost lost all of its blue hue. So I'm not sure with these cacti if they'll actually get those back, but I really do hope so, because that's what I liked about them. Plus, they don't have really big spines. You can see the roots better right there. So yeah, that was my last plant for 2020. These next ones are my new plants for 2021. So the first plant that I got for 2021 is this Dischidia or Dischidia nummularia or dragon jade. It's very weird looking, but it's cute. I did feature it in my latest unboxing video from Gabriella Plants and Local Gardens Plant Shop. It came with a bunch of other plants, mostly Hoyas, and none. It is beat up from shipping, and a lot of the leaves are yellowing. It had 6 stems altogether when I first got it, and 2 of them had shriveled up and completely dried out, so I just threw those out because I wouldn't even be able to propagate those. And then these ones are the only ones left, and this had the most. These were already yellow when I got them. Shipping was delayed for 3 days. Wherever it was sitting at, it was just there and not moving. And by the time it finally got to me, it was already so stressed out. So hopefully they recover and take to leca pretty easily. I found that with a lot of the plants that are kind of like Hoyas, and this one, that they do tend to take to leca pretty well if I'm propagating them in leca. So hopefully it's the same with this plant because I really do like it. So the next 4 plants number 9, 10, 11, and 12 of my entire haul are all Hoyas, and they were in my latest unboxing video along with the Dischidia, and these were from Local Gardens Plant Shop. I decided to show you guys all of the Hoyas together. So the first one is this Chelsea, and it kind of looks like my Crinkle 8, except that the leaves are rounder, and of course they don't have the 8 divots on the leaves. But it's doing really well. It did have a baby leaf on this side that had fallen off after I got it, but the rest of the plant is doing pretty well. And then the next one is the Wayeti, which is this one. And you can tell the difference between the Wayeti and the Kentiana from the almost black edge around the leaves on the Wayeti, whereas if you look here, the Kentiana doesn't have that. And then the next one, which I just showed you, is the Kentiana. So I'm not really sure what all these spots are. It doesn't look like scale. They just look like they were damaged, and I'm not sure if it's from shipping or just from the way they packed it. It was packed pretty well, but I don't know. It kind of just looks like bruising on the leaves. I did find a small scale on one of the leaves. On this one, it was on the end of this leaf right here, and I cut that part off. And I didn't find any other pests on the plant, so I'm glad about that. And then the other one is this Carnosa Jade, and it has recovered really well from shipping. It was really thirsty when I first got it, and I gave it a good drink. And once it had plumped up and the leaves were all good again, I repotted it into leca, and it has liked it since then. So those are my 4 new Hoyas. So the next 4 plants are all air plants, and again, just like the Hoyas, I'm going to group them all together. I ordered these from Twisted Acres on Etsy, and I always buy my air plants from them just because I trust them, and all of the air plants that I've ever gotten from them have been really healthy. And these are the 4 that I got. So this one, we'll start with the biggest one. This is a Tillandsia abdita, or brachycollis, sometimes it's known by. And then this one is a Tillandsia bootsii, and it just looks really funky. That's why I liked it. And then the next one, which is one of my favorite Tillandsias, is this one. It's called a Capit Medusa. And with this guy, the drier that you leave it, the curlier these arms get. And then lastly is the Tillandsia ionantha, which is just a basic Tillandsia or air plants that I do still like it. I used to have a kind of like an air plant forest. They were in a little bowl with sand, and I kind of just stuck them in there and created a little forest out of them. But those plants actually ended up dying slowly because I guess when I was misting them, the sand would stay too moist, and it ended up making the air plants rot. So definitely never did that again. So those are my 4 new air plants. Plant number 17 is this Aglaonema cutlass. And I ordered this from Gabriella Plants, and it was also in my unboxing video featuring Gabriella Plants and Local Gardens Plant Shop. Aglaonemas are one of my favorite genuses of plants, and I thought that this one was really cool with its spear-shaped leaves, and it almost has a camo look to the leaves too. And it's so tall, I can't get the whole thing in one frame. But yeah, there's the whole plant. And I repotted it into leca, and it hasn't given me any problems since. And there is a new leaf unfurling right in the middle. So this is only my second order from Gabriella Plants. And I was really happy about this one because it was a lot bigger than I expected and also very healthy. My first one was an Alocasia frydek, and it pretty much died almost immediately. I'm not sure if it did get delayed in the mail for a day, and I'm not sure if that was one of the causes, but I literally only had it for one day and then it died. And so I haven't actually ordered from them until I saw this one, and I'm very happy about this one. And I have been trying to grow my Aglaonema collection, so I'm glad that I finally have this one in my collection. Plant number 18, second to last plant in my haul, is this Hoya varigata. This is a replacement for a bigger one that I had before that had died last year. And I ordered this from a shop called Ground and Leaf on Etsy. I literally just picked this up from my P.O. box today. It just arrived. I'm not exactly impressed with the size of the plant. The option that I had chosen was 3+ leaves. And although it does have 4 leaves in it, the 4th one is rather small. And hopefully that one actually grows. Yeah, and then I don't see anything growing from the stem right here. So I'm just waiting for this to get bigger, and it's gonna be a while. But it is very cute. There's one of the leaves in the back. And yeah, I'll just have to wait for it to get bigger. Okay, so last but not least, and something that I'm very excited about, is my brand new Raven ZZ. I literally just purchased this today. I had gone to my Walmart to pick up some things, and of course I have to go to the garden center just to check out what plants they got in. And lo and behold, they finally got the Costa Farms Trending Tropicals collection. And I have been waiting for my Walmart and my Home Depot and the Lowe's to get them in, but for some reason they just weren't getting them. I mean, they would get some of the more common collections like the money tree and plants like that, but they never got the Raven ZZ or the angel wind begonia or the watermelon peperomias in, and finally they did. And I had to pick one up, and look at how gorgeous this plant is. Those shiny, almost black leaves. If you don't know, the Raven ZZ start off with neon green leaves, and then they become almost black, like a purple black. And let me show you the tag actually. Let's see if you can see. There's the Trending Tropicals collection. There's the Raven ZZ or Zamioculcas doan, and it just gives a little description of what the plant is. So yeah, I am very happy about this new purchase. Oops. So let me turn the lights back on. And there you go. And if you can see, it has a really big rhizome right here. I'm probably gonna pot this up or repot it into leca pretty soon, within the next day or so, because let me actually show you. So it came in this gray black ceramic pot. It's a cash pot, and it's a 6-inch pot, and it was only $16.96. But the reason I want to repot it soon is because the soil is actually pretty wet. It's rather heavy too, so I don't want it to end up getting root rot from sitting in that wet soil for too long. And there you have it, guys. I went on a plant shopping spree the last 2 months. Let's just say I have a problem, or an addiction. Not necessarily a problem if you're a plant enthusiast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which of these plants you'd have purchased yourself, or what plants you purchased in the last couple of months. It'd be really interesting to see what plants have gotten our attention lately. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give me a like, and thanks for subscribing as well if you did. Until next time, bye!